Hey, and welcome to Caching in the Northwest. You know, this is the podcast from the birthplace of geocaching right here in the great Pacific Northwest. Now, I thought you were telling me to turn down the volume. It's Thursday at 9 p.m. Pacific, and they call me Chris of the Northwest, and we're going to talk about geocaches and geocachers from here and all around the globe. So while you're burning dinner in the oven, we'll be caching in the Northwest. And tonight, we are going to be talking about the GIFF films with two of the 2023 GIFF finalists. That's GIFF Komakino and GIFF Cache Canada. I'm just throwing in GIFF everywhere. It's like Quantum in Marvel, right? You just put Quantum in front of everything and it's all okay.
The GIF, like the peanut butter?
Exactly. But no. Folks, we want your opinions. We want to hear your thoughts on all of this as well. So share that into the chat with us tonight. But we can't start until we bring in our full motion macaque. Some say he still pays child prices when he goes to the movies. And others say he sweats movie popcorn butter. All we know is he's called Land Monkey.
Well, it's a very unique kind of underarm deodorant that one needs.
I am never getting extra butter ever again.
Wow. It's your loss, bro. All right. I mean, I got plenty, so.
Happy to share.
Always. All right. Well, hey, before we get into things, a quick reminder that we appreciate the support of our patrons who help to keep the podcast coming each and every week. And a thanks to Land Sharks, one of our corporate Denali level sponsors. Folks, have you seen the new Caribbean Colors Pirate coin? Well, if you haven't, let me show you right now. I got one right in my grubby little paws. There it is. That is the Caribbean Colors Pirate coin. Very shiny, beautiful, cool details on it. And check out the back. It's even more ornate detail.
Wow.
Very nice. The compass rose and all the little subtle details all over it. Well, hey, you can get your very own and find out if you're above deck, below deck, or hey, just somehow you're the king of the Caribbean. Get your own coin. Check them out at landsharkz.ca, landsharks.ca. Corporate Denali level sponsors. Let's not forget Gold Country Geotourism. That's right. Visit exploregoldcountry.com. Learn more about the geotours, the region, places to visit, places to stay, all the fun you can have in Gold Country. And don't forget to download the app. That is exploregoldcountry.com. And folks, if you want to know more about supporting this here beautiful podcast from the home of geocaching in the Pacific Northwest, well, head on over to the website and click that Patreon link on the cachingandw.com website.
Thank you so much. Now, acute listeners, maybe watchers, will notice things look a little different tonight. Number one, we seem to be down a host. Wits End had a work emergency he had at the last moment, and Land Monkey isn't in his normal studio. Somehow Land Monkey has escaped the zoo and is on the lam.
There's very little normal about the Land Monkey most times, but
Lamb monkey?
On the Lamb Monkey. There you go.
You're on a lamb?
Nah.
But folks, tonight we are talking about GIF, and you can use hashtag GIF in the chat to add to tonight's show.
Spell it various ways to drive the chat lackey nuts.
We would love that. And of course, you can use the hashtag FATAS to bring up anything in the after shows, maybe something that doesn't rely or relate to the film festival. I was going to say upcoming, but it's already ongoing film festival. And there we go, GIF. And of course, you can use the twin hashtags of podcast baking and podcast drinking to tell us what you're cooking and sipping tonight.
Nice. All right. Well, we got a little bit of news. Shall we jump into that?
Please do, and I will return shortly.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. I wonder why he's going away. Maybe that'll be the next news story. All right. Wow. What we do have is some news from the geocaching.com blog. Reminder how important cache maintenance is. It's critical to a great geocaching experience. It's helpful to know when the cache you own may have a problem so that you can take appropriate action. Community volunteer reviewers also need to be aware when things need to be done for caches. And that's why, as part of the recently announced new geocaching and trackable logging workflow, they have renamed log types that are used to report problems with caches in the Geocaching app and on geocaching.com. The intent is so that they more accurately reflect the intent of the logs. So what's changed is the log you are familiar with, the log previously known as needs maintenance, is now owner attention requested, or a very cool acronym, OAR.
Or
That means if you get too many ors, you're going to get a paddling. All right. When a player selects this log type, the cache owner gets notified that there may be a problem with their cache. The other one is, one of our favorites, Dear Geocache Guy's favorite log type, needs archived. Well, needs archived is now called reviewer attention requested, or RAR.
do we now have a RAR party?
Oh,
It doesn't sound the same.
You should just get a WAV file that says that. You open up and
yeah, or a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
we'll do the voices. GCA. We'll do the voices.
When you choose a RAR log, the geocaching community volunteer reviewer is notified that the cache may have a problem. Houston. So situations when an owner requested log is appropriate may include such things as, let's see here, logbook is full, logbook is too wet to sign. That never happens in the Northwest. Container is damaged. And, as always, be sure to include some details in your OR log so that the cache owner can be given a little bit more intel about how to prepare to do their maintenance. Now, when do you use a RAR log? Well, what they suggest at HQ is property owners, business owners, local authorities, or law enforcement have expressed concern during your search for the cache. That's always fun, especially property owners. That's one of my favorites. The cache placement or searching for the cache may be damaging the area or defacing the property. My goodness, where is your cache? Anyways, moving on. If you couldn't find the cache, it already has several DNFs or owner attention requested logs on the cache, and the cache owner hasn't responded at all. Those are good opportunities when you may want to consider using a RAR log.
RAR.
All right. Anyhow, just some new things to know. There's lots more information in the website there. So if you want to go check out the geocaching.com blog, they'll have all the information you need to find out about RAR and OR logs, and do your thing.
So now
this is why I'm not usually allowed to do the news, by the way.
No, you're doing great.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So is it official? We can have a RAR archive party?
Ooh, nice. Who wrote that? Who's that from?
That one's from me.
Oh, was that from you?
Yeah.
Well played, Chris. I honestly didn't expect that kind of wittiness from you tonight. So,
Land Monkey, it was nice talking with you. We'll catch you next week. Hey, I just want to thank Greenwords for bringing that to our attention. So thank you.
Is that who submitted the news story?
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you, Greenwords.
And Kitty Quest says, that clarifies it a little bit. Consistency is a good thing.
Yeah. Especially when you're making pudding.
Keats went for a cache that was bulldozed. Should have checked the logs.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah, exactly.
That sounds like it deserves an or possibly rar log.
Nice. Well, I think it's beyond or at that point, isn't it?
The greatest DNF.
Ooh, is that your next movie? You know what? Let's talk about these movies.
Ooh,
Movies.
yeah.
Cool.
Oh,
Movie night.
are they? I'm sorry. They're
Films.
They're films, aren't they?
They're art, so they're films.
Sorry, I forgot. Tonight we're talking about the process and ideas behind creating a good GIF film. Now, guys, do you know why we use the term good GIF here?
Because we can't decide.
Yes. Well, no, because that way we acknowledge both parties. Some say GIF, some say GIF, and we annoy both of them at the same time, right? So we acknowledge and annoy.
Equal opportunity annoyance.
Yeah.
So it's not a regional thing.
No, not regional.
Regional within my house, yes.
Because if it's the Northwest thing, I'll start saying GIF. There you go. I'll start saying GIF.
If the G is silent.
Okay. Yeah.
The G is silent. It's
Yeah.
the film festival.
I like
We
it.
don't know if
If.
it's going to happen or not.
Don't know. It's an if.
So both of you are finalists in this year's GIF Creation Fest,
Yay.
right, in the film festival. We want to talk about the experience of you making your films, bringing in geocaching friends and or real paid actors. I mean, I want to know what your budget was.
We're supposed to pay them?
Incredible.
We were supposed to pay. Shh, shh, shh.
And hopefully encourage some of our listeners to start thinking about next year. Maybe they want to create one of their own.
That's
So-
not competition, though. I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Got it right.
Don't do it. No. Go for it. Yeah, we waited too long.
There you go. Yeah, and folks, if you haven't had a chance to make it out to a GIF event yet and see these great films from these two folks and 14 other great films, they're fair warning. There's a chance there may be some spoilers in this chat, so you've been warned. I would like to not preclude either of you gentlemen from feeling like you can share anything about your film. So we've given the spoiler alert at this point, so everybody is kind of on their own.
Warning.
I mean,
Yeah.
this caching in the Northwest, if you've watched it for this long, then you kind of know what you're in for at this point.
You're stuck, baby.
Yep. Don't look.
Too funny.
Don't look, Ethel.
Wow,
Too late.
there's a deep
Sweetheart.
cut.
Too late.
Wow.
Well, folks, first up, those who are watching or listening to the podcast, because we do have quite a number of folks who just download and listen. They may or may not be familiar with your names, but they might not be familiar with your backstories. So we'd like to do a quick little intro for each of you. I randomly flipped a coin and picked Komikino to go first. Rich, welcome back to the show.
Taking one for the team.
There you go.
Finally a winner.
I'm taking one for the team. I'll let you know how it goes, Dave.
Okay. You first.
He'll give you a call later and let you know.
Guinea pig.
For those who maybe don't know you, Komikino, maybe share what area of the Pacific Northwest is home for you, and what about 3 fun facts about your geocaching life?
Yeah, started caching in 2013, which was fun. It was a fun way for my daughter and I to go out and do something because we were bored in Idaho, and it was kind of funny because the first cache that I chose on the map turned out to be a virtual cache, and I had no idea what a virtual cache was. So when I went out to the location, I couldn't find it because I was looking for a container. Ooh. Another fun, interesting fact about me here is that I do not like mystery caches, which is why I have 7 of my own mystery cache hides. So there's that. Go figure. And also, my movie, the GIFF film, 528, was based off of 2 caches that I found in my early years of geocaching here in
Oh.
the Pacific Northwest region, around Seattle, Puget Sound area.
Cool.
Very interesting.
Yay!
Now, the next guest you may recognize. It's Cache Canada. But now, no, that's you. That's
me.
you right over there. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Surprise.
Oh, wow.
Now, recently you've just relocated here to the great Pacific Northwest.
Apparently so.
Yeah.
Yes. Recently, my wife Karen and I, the other half of Cache Canada, have just moved to West Kelowna in the Okanagan Valley. That's, if anybody doesn't know, that is in the middle of British Columbia and kind of lower down, but it's a big, long lake. And we are on the other side of the lake from Kelowna. Hence, that's why it's called. And the reason we moved here is because our daughter moved here 3 years ago, and her fiance, they had a daughter, and we just kept visiting, we kept flying, and we just figured, well, why don't we just move here? So we really liked the area, and they have no intention to move. And actually, his parents sold their house from London, Ontario, and moved to West Kelowna as well. And they now live, we only live about 10 minutes away from them, and a 15-minute drive as opposed to a 5-hour flight from our daughter and granddaughter. And we started...
We have to say welcome.
Thank you.
It's about time. Once you visit here, you realize how great it is, and you just want to move.
And most of what I want to do in geocaching is on the western side of the continent. So I have all of the webcams on the eastern side of the Mississippi. So now I need to concentrate on the other side. So that's another story. But we started in 2012, and we started using with a Garmin Nuvi. That was our first GPS device. Somebody that I knew was geocaching, and I didn't have a smartphone. I had a raspberry? No. A blueberry. No, a blackberry. A blackberry.
Had a bowl of fruit.
Yeah, so you couldn't use that for geocaching. And the only thing I had was a Garmin Nuvi, and I just Googled, hey, how do I find coordinates or something in a Garmin Nuvi? It worked, and I'm like, okay, that works. And then I was out one day, and then my blackberry got wet, thank goodness. And then I could buy a smartphone. And then I got a proper geocaching Garmin thing.
You got a real phone then, that's what you're saying.
Yeah, a real phone, yeah. And our geocaching style is basically we target cache. We go after specific ratings, oldies, challenges, and the like. And of course, webcams are one of our highs up there. And the Earth caches they still are. We recently completed a full fizzy of Earth caches, which was something we had been working on for about 4 or 5 years.
Impressive.
And thank you. It took a lot of work. It wouldn't so much now, and it's getting easier to do because a lot of places are putting them out to basically allow people to do them within a very short period. Another story. And we do geocache without filming ourselves. It does happen. Yes.
Lies. It's all lies.
So there you go. That's a little bit about us. And she, the other half, she's in watching Monk, I think, in the other room and eating popcorn. There you go.
GSM times two says you could actually cache with a BlackBerry. Oh. It was arduous to say the least.
Okay, all right.
I got to say, my very first geocaching experiences were with a BlackBerry.
Yep.
So I did start. In fact, my first couple of episodes that I ever filmed were explaining how to geocache using a BlackBerry, which is obsolete content now.
I guess I should have Googled it.
Wow, there you go.
You can Google anything.
Where's it go?
One of the very first geocaches I ever had a problem with was it was on side of an electrical box, big green electrical box. We hadn't been geocaching that long, and we couldn't find it because I was looking for a container. some little thing that had something in it. And so I went home. I couldn't find it. I got so frustrated. I went on to Google and I said, how do you find a geocache on the side of a green electrical box? Hit number 2 had exactly what I needed. Went out and found it.
It's a magnet.
And of course, yeah, it was a magnetic strip with the letters on it.
A flat cache. Yeah.
There you go.
It was like, wow, blown.
Google is your friend.
It is.
Indeed.
You can Google anything.
First of all, gentlemen, congratulations on being
Thank
a
you.
GIFF 2023 finalist. Yay. Now, we want to talk about the creative process, but first, remind us which films are yours and what prompted this creation of your film. So, we'll start with Komakino.
Yeah, my film this year, I'm kind of keeping a theme going of geocaching horror stories, where I will take a scary situation that's based off of caching activities. Like, what could make this scary? What can make this a lot different than what's expected when you go out to, find these caches. Let me see. I'm reading what I wrote. like the first movie we had, where we were racing to get a first to find, but we forgot the GPS. We get lost in the woods. Then we run into another cacher out in the woods that's on his way to the cache while we were trying to get to the cache, and the fun that can happen from something like that. Encountering and finding nanos in the woods. And also wondering if the cache owner actually got permission to hide a cache at the posted location of where the cache is, like the second movie that we had permission. And like as I was saying earlier here, this movie here, 528, there used to be, I guess, like way back in the early days of geocaching, they didn't have a distance between caches, because there was 2 caches that I found down in Kirkland, and it was maybe like 100 feet less between them. I looked them up the other day, and one is still active. The other one got archived here, but it was pretty funny because it's like, you find the cache, then you walk on over, and oh, hey, the second one was right here, because when you look at the map, the icons overlaid each other because they were so close. So I thought that was really kind of unique, and I thought it'd be kind of fun if, well, I can't say anything because they'll ruin the movie, but watch it. We'll talk about it.
Nice.
They've been warned.
Yeah, that's right. Cache Canada, what about you? What was your film?
What was my film was, well, our film was Geocaching Might Be For You. And I had the idea with 3 others, and it was just sitting for several years. I was kind of hemming and hawing about a couple of different things, but we were busy doing, like we did for quite a while. We have slowed down a lot now, but we were doing 2 videos every single week for about 5 years. And we were concentrating on that. So I wasn't looking at, and I couldn't figure out, how do you take vlogging, like, hey, come on over, look at this geocache. Well, this is really cool. Wow, look at that. And Cache the Line and I had that discussion too. How could you make a GIF doing that? And I think it can be done, but you'd have to be really creative about it. But I couldn't figure out, how to do that. So I had this other idea, and it was just sitting there. And then after 2021, I looked at the entries and I thought, no, if I did what I had an idea, it would probably win as an entry. I could probably get it. Not to pat my own back, but I thought, I'm sure I could do it. So it's just a matter of doing it. But it was a very quick process, because a lot of what I did in my film is all visuals from past geocaching videos and experiences that we had. And then I had the script, and I tried to fit things to what was the words that I had in the script. And then in some cases I created new visuals, but not very many. I made the 2023 GIF entry that we did in 2021. After It aired. That was done. I went. I pretty much put it together. It wasn't complete. It was still, there was some raw parts. There was visuals missing because I had. And then they announced they were going to do one in 2022, and I'm like, oh, well, thanks. I just finished it. It's like, it needed fine tuning, so it sat in my computer for almost 2 years, just sitting there waiting.
Well, there you go. So you've jumped into what my next question was going to be there, Dave, which is great, and that's kind of helping us understand the key steps that it took to turn an idea into a film reality. And so maybe Rich, I'm curious to hear from you about your 528 story. What were the steps you went through to go from idea to reality? Was there scripting, storyboarding, location scouting, casting? What all is involved?
Well, I had the idea, and it was trying to come up with a way for the incident to happen. And then once I had that planned or thought out, I then started scripting. Well, I don't script, like go in and start typing like a movie script, like how you would see the formats and stuff on, for like an actual movie. I think of the story, what I want to have happen. I start drawing visually, then I get the script to go into what is going on with the image and in my mind, and then with that, it's just storyboard the whole thing out. It's kind of just like making a comic book in a way, and getting it all down on paper. I don't know. I should maybe do a comic book one of these days about geocaching. That would be fun.
Cool.
But since I'm more visual, I just picture it, get the image I want, put the script that I want to have happen for that scene, kind of work on from there with what I have in mind for the story to flow. And then once I had everything all planned out with that, it was because part of it takes place in an office building, and I wonder if I can get permission from my work here to let me come in and film the stuff in there.
You want to do what?
Yeah, so I explained it to them there, and they were like, "Yeah, that's cool. You can go ahead and do that." If I went out on a weekend, then
let me get this straight.
You're going to come in here and film a movie? What? So, but yeah, they were all completely cool with it there. I went in on the weekend where there's just like a couple people in there, and set up a table there, made sure there was nothing around that would get damaged from the stuff that we were doing in the movie. So I went out and bought a keyboard from from like a secondhand shop or something.
Dollar store.
Yeah, exactly. Got that there so it could get destroyed and not have to worry about anything. Lots of towels and things there in case had to clean up whatever. But yeah, it was, and then recruiting people. Got Paul in there because he was in the
because Paul's back.
First movie. That's right. Paul is back, more ways than one. And then I got Carlos, and it was pretty funny getting Carlos because it was like an idea we're throwing around with him. And then when I was asking him, like, "Hey, let's go film this thing on this weekend," he was like, "Okay, yeah, great. We need to get this done now because I'm moving to Arizona on Monday." So it was like, holy crap! If I had waited any longer, I don't know what I would have filmed for this. And let me see, what else did I say here? Yeah. So scripting that. I don't want to take any more time up like what I'm doing here, but the kid, I didn't script anything in for the kid because she was busy with school and finishing up school and everything. And we shot all the first half of the movie at work, and then I was going to need the kid to film the news segment. And when I was asking her, she wanted to be the camera person to help out with that, and she was like, "You didn't ask me if I wanted to be in the movie or not." So, so I was like, "I'm sorry. I thought you were busy and stuff with school and finishing school and graduating and everything else and working." And she, "No, No, you didn't say anything. So the segment that she is in, isn't even in the script. And I was just like, okay, how can I, what can I do? And thought up something like the day before we went out to go shooting and then filmed her segment. And it turned out to be that was probably like the best part of the movie there, of what she does in there, and the news anchor interaction with that. So.
We would have been disappointed if she hadn't been in it.
Yeah,
Right?
and everybody else too.
I would have. She's my favorite fan.
Yay!
All my fans are electric.
Wow.
Hey, just Carlo says lots of great GIF entries this year. Cache Canada and Komakino's entries both showcased your personalities really well. Nice job.
Thank you, Carlo.
Thank you.
Am I supposed to be asking a question?
I'm
You're
done.
up next.
Cache Canada's on there.
Says CNW.
Yeah, I had kind of jumped ahead on the script there. And,
Okay.
And it talked about how it did, but I wrote it like a movie script. It was like, Karen says this and I say this, and I had pretty much done all the narrative, the entire thing, and then I realized, Karen needs a part in this, So then I very creatively made sure that she was the lead. So and this was based on, I mean, if you've seen it, okay, but it's based on a type of commercial that mainly you see in the United States. You don't see this type of commercial in Canada much. And I don't know what they have in Europe. They have more risque.
That was one thing I liked about your movies. Your movie kind of started off with where it kind of seemed like it was like a regular caching video, and it was like, okay, it's like a regular caching video. Oh, okay, and then you started in with the script on that there, and it's just, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to see where this goes. I want to see where this goes, like how you take quotes from that, and then you move it over to how that relates to caching. And I thought that was pretty well done.
The fast talker, fine print reader. And if I had taken some more time, I probably could have figured out a way of speeding up the vocals without making myself sound like a
chipmunk.
A chipmunk, yeah.
There's tools for that.
I just
Premiere.
the timing and the timing that we had too was we were I was finishing it up in May and June, like fine tuning all the little things, like the very minute parts and editing to timing, and we were about ready to leave on a road trip to the Pacific Northwest. And we were leaving July 11th. Well, the entries needed to be in August 15th or something like that. So I had to have it done. And so I was kind of under the gun to get it finished before we left. And I had actually, somebody's on there. I had actually messaged HQ and asked them about having Cache Kitted in there, because in the original credits at the beginning, where the maple leaf is going in and out with the music, Cache Canada came in there just like we use in our regular videos. And I thought, the rules stipulate, and I'm like, I don't think I can use that. And so I asked them, I said, is this okay? Let me know. I need to know really fast. They had a meeting about it, and then they came back and said, no, that would have been rejected. So I needed to know, because I couldn't get it rejected, and I didn't want to make two, because you are allowed to put in two. I think, is that right?
I didn't know that.
I think there's like multiple.
Yeah, you can put in more than one. So if you had a great idea, you could put. I don't know. It would be funny if you picked both. But I didn't want to edit too, to say, okay, this is the one with Cache Canada at the front, and this is the one without. I didn't have time for that, so let me know, and I'll take it out. So Cache Canada, I saw it when I even completely forgot. It shows up in the credits at the end. So I think it was an accidental. I forgot to take it out. And as Cache Canada being the tag, I can't remember if I did that or they did, because I was like, we can't really say Cache Canada, but we are, because we're a team. And I just wrote it out down really fast, and
that would be kind of like your name, like
Yeah, but
I say
it's
Komakino in mine, but I guess that's like geocaching name. It's not like tied to my channel in a way or anything like that.
right. But my name is London Westy, right? Which I guess should be now West Coast Westy, but toying with that
Like
one.
that.
Yeah, West Coast Westy. I'm really Westy now.
Pacific
Couple hours.
Northwesty.
A couple
Keith
hours
says-
further west, and we'll be really west.
You'll be wet.
Yeah,
Um,
coaster.
Wetty.
Keith says, as a Canadian, I must say it's pretty darn cool to see Canada make the geocaching world stage.
Thank you. Has there? I don't know. Has there not been one from Canada before? Ours are the first. I don't. I'd have.
There has been a Canadian
Mhm.
entry that
Okay.
made the finalists before. There was one second year, I think,
Yeah. Okay.
fairly early on. That was actually from BC.
Okay.
I can't remember the cachers who put it together, but I do remember seeing one from our neck of the woods before.
I know two people. Well, one person and a group that made one, and one from Ontario. I thought it was awesome. It was really good, and I thought it should have been a finalist, but maybe it didn't make it that year because of
You know
what
what?
it was against.
I just realized there's two that I know of that, because there was one from Vancouver Island in the last GIFF,
hmm
maybe the one
Oh.
before. Yeah,
Oh,
so
okay.
there's been two Canadian entries
Okay, so
previously.
not the first. I didn't think there
You're
were.
not
I
the
didn't
first.
think
I'm
we were.
sorry, Dave.
No. I didn't think we were.
Were they
I'm just
living
like,
nights in
this is-
Key West?
it's pretty cool to represent Canada. So that's nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And Jay, yes, I say redo what you did, and you would be in. If you don't, I'll just take your script and I'll write it myself and put it in. 2025.
Dear Geocache guy just sort of stands on his own. He's got his own thing there. 3 Canadian ones there. Brian Lang just said 2015
Oh,
was
okay.
Travel Bug Story. So that's a third one.
Right.
Because
Okay.
there was one that came from somebody out in like BC. There you go. Team Mother Farmer. There was that one.
Mother what?
Geocaching
Mother
Freak.
Farmer.
And then there was one from Vancouver Island that I think Keats was referencing. And then one from Quebec. And so, the provinces are getting well represented here.
Nice.
Although a little west coast heavy, and maybe, there you go.
Mhm.
There you go. The Art of Geocaching, Gunnar Mac. That's the one from
Nice.
Vancouver Island. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, 4, 5. Let's just, you know what?
They just
Wow.
keep coming.
Wow. Holy cow.
Can't
We're
stop
doing good.
ourselves.
Geocaching is awesome.
This is why we have a research department.
hmm
Holy cow. They just
What are
keep
we up to, like 7?
Wow.
We should interview that guy.
6.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yep. Okay.
All right. Hey, there's somebody else on the podcast.
What is a glow?
Little late on that there by about half
Oh.
hour, but that's all good.
Yeah, story of my life.
Well,
Sorry, I got
fine.
called into work about 8:30 tonight. I had to fix something, so now
Did
I'm
you
home
get-
again.
Did you get
But
it
you
fixed?
remembered your line. That was the most important part.
I did get it fixed. All is well. So
That's Wits End's GIF entry.
Oh,
That's it.
Yeah, that guy.
Short and
Good
sweet.
glow.
Done.
Good glow.
Yeah. So I think I found where we are in the notes talking about GIF 23, which for me is in the future because my event is tomorrow night. So
Spoiler alert.
spoiler alerts, but hey,
My
I don't
event's
mind.
Sunday, so I
I
still
don't mind
have.
spoilers.
Well, gentlemen, what was your biggest roadblock and/or challenge in getting this this film together? Was it the creative process? Was it getting the people together? Was it the editing? Was it the idea creation part of it? What was the hardest part for you?
The part that was kind of difficult is what I mentioned earlier here was trying to get the location for where I filmed geocaching the headquarters because I wanted an office, and if I couldn't get the office location that would have shot the whole thing, So that was the difficult thing to get. Once I got that, and it was like, okay, sweet, this will happen. I can go with this story. I had 2 other stories which I could have used as a backup just in case if this one couldn't have been done. But since I got the office, I thought I'd go ahead and go with 528. And then also having to damage things for a scene. I had to be really, really careful because we're actually sitting at a work desk. There was stuff, actual like computers and things like under the desk and around, to where if even like something could have gone wrong, we could have damaged that. But we had towels like everywhere just in case, and made sure for what happens to cause the issue was kind of more controlled, so we wouldn't get it all over the place. People are like listening to this, like, "What the heck is he talking about?" Well, go watch the GIFF.
There were explosions.
Yeah, and superimposed sparks and things.
24 hours from now, I'll know.
Those were superimposed?
You will find out.
That's right.
And then also, as I was saying, I didn't write the kid in for the movie because she was busy, and then once I told her about it, then she gave me a guilt trip. And then had to think of a scene to put in. And like I just said earlier here, that scene really worked out well with getting everything going, and the way it helped make it better, I think. And also, like, some people that saw that scene were like, wow, usually in your geocaching video, she's kind of like quiet, or, kind of doesn't say much, but they were like really excited and happy to see that she was actually like speaking in a happy tone and voice. So so the impromptu part was a nice addition. And then another thing was maybe getting people together, but it was easy to get Paul to do it because he did the first one. And Carlos, as I said, we got him like a couple of days before he moved to Arizona. So again, if I had just delayed it just like a little bit more, then I don't know what we would have filmed.
Well, I'm sure it's going to be fabulous tomorrow night when I see it. But hypothetically speaking, I imagine it's just a few minutes long and took many more than just a few minutes to produce. How long do you think it took from start to finish to complete your GIFF 2023 entry?
Okay. Cash Can had his answer for this first, but mine took like a couple of months. It was, I would say, maybe a few days of just kind of scripting it out. And that was done like in, I did mine like way early. I think January, February-ish, I think was when I was getting that ready ahead of time before they announced the thing. Then once they announced it, then we filmed the office scene in March, and then I edited those scenes together so I could show that to Carlos and Paul, like, hey, you guys, what do you guys think of this here? And just to kind of get their opinion on it, see what they thought of it. And then the news scene was filmed around the end of May. So I don't know how you'd calculate time on that, because let's say if you sat down and did it from like day one until you actually finished it, it probably would have just maybe taken a couple of days.
Yeah.
It was like a couple hours at the office, couple hours at the park to film the scene there, and then probably took about maybe an hour to 2 hours to do like each minute in the movie, because I had like some special effects. So I have some lower thirds. So I had to design a thing for the newscaster and find lots of copyright material that I could use that I could throw in there. But yeah, I would say realistically, if it was just like from day one to the end, just like a couple of days of just shooting and filming and scripting everything out. It doesn't take long to do a 4-minute movie.
No.
But then you had to add the kid in, so that took longer. So you can say it's her fault.
Yeah. The guilt trip was like, shamed me for days.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, fine, I'll put you in the movie.
Yeah, I had said it took about a month, but like I had said earlier, I did it in 2021, so it was pretty much finished. But the most amount of work that the biggest obstacle I had was I was getting little gaps in a lot of the video, which I still can't explain. I don't have it anymore. And part of it, I think, was because of the camera that I was using. I use Pinnacle Studio 22, and what I was having to do, once I created a video, I would run the thing, and then it would do whatever. I'm not a very technical guy. It would do its thing, and it'd be finished. And then I'd watch it, and there would be these tiny little, where there wouldn't be any video. It would be like a circle with an A in it or something. Not an adventure team from G.I. Joe, but it kind of looked like that. So I would have to take the video and then import it into Adobe movie, whatever that thing's called, Adobe Acrobat.
Premiere.
Adobe Premiere. I have a copy of it, but I was trying to learn it, but it was very, very complicated. And doing 2 videos a week, I didn't have time to learn it. So, but I knew it enough. I could resolve the problem I was having by taking my entire film, putting it into Adobe, and then going through it and slicing out the very little. They're very small, and there are a couple of times you might, if you're really watching one of our older videos, that you might see where there's the tiniest little change in the sound or something. But it was thankfully enough I could just slice it out, piece it all together, and then run Adobe, and it would be fine. So that's what I had to do with this GIF, was it still had some gapping, which really annoyed me, and that was the biggest part I had to deal with.
Sounds like a rendering issue.
Yeah, rendering. It was driving me insane. And then once I started filming with a GoPro, that gone. I don't have to do that anymore. Thankfully,
Compatibility probably.
unless you lose your GoPro in Naples, Italy, and then that's another story.
Oh gosh, really?
Yeah, but I got it back. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
that's great.
Yeah,
I think that's an entire podcast. That's
Yeah.
story, Dave.
yeah.
That's a great way to have an add-on vacation. Let's just go back. I left my camera.
Yeah.
Is that they catch the line where he loses his drone? Something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
Hey.
It was a moment of just, I said a senior's moment. I don't know what it was. It was just like, as soon as I getting on the cruise ship, I should have something in my hand. Oh my!
Oh,
Talk
crazy.
about swearing a blue streak. Whew.
All right. Well,
It worked out. It worked out in the end. 2.5 months later, I got the GoPro back.
there you go. All right. Well, we'll have to have Dave back on to talk about losing expensive equipment while traveling on a different podcast.
And then what do you film with?
Figuring,
Which I'm dealing with now.
But question for both of you guests, and going back to the GIF creation, what was your favorite part of the overall creative process in creating your GIF finalist entries?
Mine was trying to come up with a situation, like let's say a serious situation in geocaching, and trying to make a humorous situation out of it. Like, well, if this happens, what would happen? How would the geocaching community react to that? What could happen? What could be the possibilities and outcomes of that? Like from what happens in this movie here, like the first one was like, the first movie we did, like you're forgetting your equipment, and then somebody's following you on the trail. What do they want? And only to find out that they were looking for the cache too. But this situation here, after you see it, you might think like, yeah, if that situation was to happen, how would we react to it? What would the community be like with that type of a thing going on? And also, I'm just going to throw this out here. When you watch it, when there's like the news segment, read the lower thirds. I've only heard from like a couple of people that have read them and were like, "Oh, that's funny. I get what you're saying there. I get what you're saying there with that." So definitely check out the lower thirds.
Very punny.
Yes. Should be
I appreciated it, Rich.
and
Thank you.
inconvenient. So yeah.
It's like if you were ever able to read all of the fine print text on the Next Generation Enterprise sets. The set designers and people left little
Put all the
puns,
jokes in there.
yeah, in some of those screens. So I will look forward to seeing those tomorrow.
I thought it was, and what I wanted to do was come up with something that was funny, that would make people laugh, but thrill their visual senses and the sound and that. I took great pains. One of my friends, one of our reviewer friends, said to me he saw the film because he was one of the judges, and he didn't understand the timing at first. He thought there was a little bit too long, but then when he saw it with an audience with laughter, he understood why it was like that. And that I find really interesting to get, because you're like, wow, I want to show it all. Excuse me. And then you start to edit, and then you go, no, that's too much. I want to, you got to break it down a little bit more, and then you get less and less and less. And you have to find that sweet spot. You go, okay, that's on the screen long enough. There would have been laughter at that point. Okay, move on. And that was so interesting to be in the theater and hear that and go, yeah, it worked. It's awesome.
Yeah, the audience reaction when they're laughing at the stuff that you put in, we're like, okay, good. Somebody got the joke.
Yeah.
Somebody, I appreciate their sense of humor. They get my sense of humor. So yeah.
That's always fun. It's hard to predict because everybody is different now.
Yeah, you can throw something out and it's like crickets, and it's like, God, really? That was funny. Come on, people.
That was my best stuff too.
Yeah, and then you think, oh, I could have put the cricket sound effect in. Oh, darn it all. Opportunity lost.
I made my own.
All right. Well, clearly there's a lot of work that goes in ahead of time to putting these things together. When you've got it all done, you've filmed it, you've edited, you've found all your inside jokes to put in your lower thirds and edited out your cricket sounds, and you're ready to click submit and finally hit that entry, and it's out of your hands, out into the world, what's going through your mind right at that moment? That's got to be quite the feeling.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because it's like what is it? It's like a 2.5
coming from the pro
period of time. I don't know. I just hit submit. And I kind of just, I'll just find out about it in August. And it was funny because the congratulation email that I received was spammed out. I never got anything. And so in September, like the day before they were making the announcement or something, I got this email from headquarters, and they were like, hey, we just want to let you know that you're a finalist, and why didn't you answer our questions in the thing that we sent out like weeks ago? And I'm like, I got something weeks ago? Yeah. So it was kind of funny because I think I was having more stress right at the very end, because I know that in August they let you know, and I didn't hear anything, and I was like, come on, this was good stuff. It's I wonder what else won, or what the other finalists were like if this was turned down. I'm not trying to blow my own horn or anything here, or pat myself on the back or anything, but I was just like, oh man, I was kind of depressed until I got that thing, and it was just, oh sweet, it is a finalist. Okay, then I went into the spam folder and looked, and oh, there it is.
There it is.
So yeah, it was the wait was worst right at the end when I wasn't getting that mail, the mail. So, but after I had sent it, it was just like, well, it's out.
There you go. That's a funny story, Rich. The spam folder getting the better of you. I love it.
Yes.
Dave,
I don't like spam.
the bloody Vikings. Dave, what was going through your mind?
Did I forget to take a blip out? I'm thinking, like, sure, there's going to be a lot of times they've made it onto YouTube, and I watch it, and I immediately bring it down before it gets posted. But sometimes they've made it out onto published videos, and I'm like, oh. And I was just like, because there was at that point, if that had, I was not able to really watch it again because we were traveling then. Once I hit submit, we hit the road the next day. And then if I had made a mistake or something needed to be fixed, there was nothing I could do about it because we were on the road. We were on the road for 6 weeks.
Wow.
So that whole time we were gone. The entries came in. I got the email that we were a finalist. We had bought a house at the same time. And
Wow.
then I had to write the script for it. The script was written, but it wasn't really fully fleshed out because I still had other things that I just kind of not ad-libbed, but I just, let's do that. So when you have to submit the full written script for them so that they can take what you have on screen and put it into multiple languages. So I had to deal with that. I had to deal with lawyers. I had to deal with realtors all while on the road. It was just like, wow, I'm just like, I'm tired. So now that I'm in my new house, it's just like, oh, it's very nice. Yeah. That's it. It's all good.
Nice. Gentlemen, if there is a GIF, a good GIF, see, even I can't do it, 2024, do you think you'll submit an entry?
Yes. I have a movie location based off of an actual movie location that I want to film a sequel scene to one of the prior GIFs that we made. So, new person at the property. I was talking with them over the summer about possibly filming at that location, and they seemed open to it. So, if we get one, I want to have it filmed at that location, and I hope people get the reference to the location that we will be at there for that, and the movie that it's from. So looking forward to that if it happens.
The answer is yes, and I've already shot many individuals with their parts, and I had the idea right away, and I thought, I think it could be, if it doesn't make it in as a finalist, which I think it could. That would be a very good feature to show. I can't even tell you. I can't tell you anything. So anyway, yeah, we're working on it. I have shot video.
Nice. Wow.
Yeah.
Already ahead of the schedule.
Yes.
Well done.
Good job.
Brian Lang wants to know, the real question is, will Land Monkey submit another entry? Will Dear Geocache Guy ever make a return?
Yes.
Will the poor mute Sabu be able to communicate the imminent danger to those in the canoe with him?
That's right.
That's right. Well, there was a project that was supposed to make it in for this year's Good GIF, and weather and forest fires defeated us this year. But we're gonna keep working at it. It's all storyboarded. We've done a lot of the test work, the location scouting. A lot of the hard work's done, but we can't get it filmed until we can get nature to work with us. So
Sure.
I don't know how long it's going to take, but 1 year.
Good.
Just Carlo chimes in. Maybe Dear Geocache Guy can make an end credit cameo in the next Komakino GCU film. It's the Geocache cinematic universe.
That's right. No, it's actually funny because there were a lot of geocaching vloggers who were wanting to submit movies or films for this year, and like 4 of them asked me if I could do like a certain thing for their video, like pop up in something or do a voiceover in something. So I was thinking that if those had actually gone through and if they had actually worked on those and submitted those, and if those had been in there, I could have been in like 5 of the GIFs this year. So
Soon
I
the
thought that
empire
was
will be yours.
soon it will be all mine.
Together we can rule.
No, but it was. I don't know. I just thought that was funny. Like if something like that could have happened.
Yeah, Land Monkey and I need to speak at some point. So
Yeah.
yeah,
You know where
stay tuned.
I was going to say you know where I am, but
Yeah.
very few people usually know where I am at any point in time. But
Well,
you generally know how to get a
we
hold of me.
we know where we can meet,
Yeah, exactly.
and it's not that far away.
Is it a
Not
Tim
anymore.
Hortons?
Okay.
No.
Well, we are in Canada, so
I've been out with Land Monkey. He often doesn't even know where he is.
that's why I bring Mrs. Monkey.
That's
Yes.
why he has a GPS with him at all times.
Yeah.
Just look for the nearest Earth cache, and there he is.
There you
Gentlemen,
go.
thank you so much for sharing with us tonight. We certainly appreciate it. And folks, thank you for taking the time to listen to this episode of Caching in the Northwest.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I guess I'm up, eh? Let's see.
Land Monkey would like to say,
Let me scroll down through the show notes here. All right. Hey, we want to take a moment to thank Landsharks, LANDSHARKZ.ca, and Gold Country Geotourism. That's Gold Country, or exploregoldcountry.com. Those are our 2 corporate level sponsors. Landsharks.ca is the outdoor adventure and geocaching store. Check them out online. And, check out this new fancy, beautiful GeoCoin. And get one of those orders placed. They're shipping them daily. And for absolutely amazing geocaching adventures, check out exploregoldcountry.com and download the app and plan your trip to go enjoy the geo tours in Gold Country. We want to thank all of our faithful Denali level supporters. That's Landsharks, Gold Country, Geotourism, Team Squirrel, Groovy Owl, Cool Cow Cachers, and Cachely, the geocaching app. If you want to know more about supporting this show, click the Patreon link on the cachingnw.com website.
just like Ari 54321 did.
And or more.
And just finding our way.
And you, Dak.
Hacker Doc.
Where are we here? Geocaches.
Peach of Washington.
Korsgat.
Kid Vegas 19.
Gas Station Tuna.
MC3 Cats.
Kev Mac D.
You talks to rocks.
GeoNav Pro.
J-Car.
Boomer 365.
Antaeus.
One of my favorite kitchen appliances, the LG 9000.
Team Noltex.
Kitty Quest.
Green Words.
Limax.
Trexer.
Al Robrick.
GSM times 2.
Nervous Energies.
B Pendragon.
Segehove.
CRS 98.
M-Nerve.
Skyhawker.
Wino Seattle.
Mountain Bike.
Just Carlo.
Wet Coaster.
Logwork.
Flagman.
Seebeck Tribe.
BC Rock Crawler.
The Camp Clan.
Subway Mark.
And last name on the list. You've waited for it, folks. And I'm here to reward you with the name Genies.
Thank you so much.
You
All
are
right.
so welcome.
Hey, since I joined late, did you already have the guests offer up any way to get in touch with them? Okay, so I'll
No,
maybe,
we weren't going to do that tonight.
okay. If you want to get in touch with them, too bad. No. Did either of you have any contacts that you want to toss out there?
Go to YouTube and search that name right there,
There you go.
Cache Canada.
And same here, like just look up Kobakino.
It's not as easy as it looks, is it?
No, it's like it went the opposite direction.
It's hard to
Coordination
switch that
just
brain
failed.
around.
Welcome to our world, gentlemen.
It's not easy.
It's like
to
a bad Brady Bunch, you know.
The link is here. No, it's here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you thought that was hard.
Well, thank you for taking the time to listen to this episode of Caching in the Northwest. Your support helps keep the quality shows coming. If you like the show, please click the Patreon link on the cachingnw.com website. If you didn't like the show, let us know what you want us to talk about. In either case, please subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and give us a review. Now, if you were in a restaurant, you would tip. If you were in a live audience, you would clap. But since you're on a podcast, leave us a free, fast, fabulous, fantastic 5-star review. Of course, you can call into 253-693-TFTC and leave a comment, ask a question, or you know what, take us out to the movies any time of the day or night. And of course, you can email us at feedback@cachingnw.com. Join us every Thursday at 9 p.m. Pacific for a live show and chat. The show is produced by Chris Humphenauer, Jim Paulwitz, Jay Kennedy, and Brian Lang. It's licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license, copyright 2023 by Chris Humphenauer. And folks, I ask you to stay tuned for...
It's really soft.
Yeah, I forgot.
Oh, there we go.
I can make it loud, but then when you guys talk, my eardrums bleed. So I got to work on the volumes.
It feels like a you problem.
Yes. What? I can't hear you anymore.
Where?
Let's see. We've run a little long, but I want to bring out some of the questions. Is Land Monkey, are you going to upgrade to the Osmo Pocket 3?
Great question. Yeah, I saw that come out and I was like, man, great. More tech that I can't afford. I am going to spend my money on trips to go to amazing places and film quality video to share with everybody instead. But it looks like Rich has already done the upgrade there.
Got it yesterday.
I find the Pocket 2 still works fantastic for me. So I really don't have a
camera.
need.
It's a great camera. The Osmo Pocket 2 is still a good camera. So yeah.
There you go.
Do you have enough pockets for the Pocket 3?
Ooh, there's the question. I would suggest not putting it in your back pocket.
No.
That's the 2. I
There's
still
the
got
2,
the
yeah.
2.
Good
And
stuff.
keep track of it when boarding the cruise ship.
Yeah.
Yes.
Monkey Cake says, tonight I'm podcast crafting.
Ooh.
I wanted to come up with pod crafting because I thought that was pretty good. Making special favors for the GIFF in Tacoma this Sunday.
Nice.
I'm going to that just to see what those things are.
Cool.
Very cool.
You know, some of these are longer than I want to ask. Like, this is a really good question. As YouTube creators, how is the creative process different between making a GIF entry and your usual videos?
Ooh.
That's almost a whole episode.
Yeah, because
Completely.
the GIF is a story you're actually filming where you have to have like a beginning, middle, and end and organize people and shoot scenes. And when you're out filming a geocache video, it's just film as you go. There's no scripting. It's just, I'm going to find a lamppost cache.
Yeah.
And
much of what
you can make it look good in post.
You're right, and much of what comes out of it is done in post. Well, this is the idea I had when I filmed it, but that's not turning out, and actually works better when you're editing.
Was it a lamppost?
Lamppost.
Was it?
Fix it in lamppost cache.
It's funny you guys mentioned that, and not to drag this particular question out too long, Chris. I apologize in advance. But,
No worries.
I say that because I'm Canadian.
Anyway.
But I'm going to do this anyways. I have been trying to make sure with my usual videos, with my general geocaching YouTube content, that I do try and focus on telling a story or have a story arc. And I know both of you gentlemen do that with your videos as well. So I think it's a bit of a misnomer, and I think you're being a little flippant about your own quality of your content to say, oh yeah, well, I just go out and film something and whatever happens. Because
No, you still have an idea.
Oh, yeah,
Right,
you've got an idea which one to have happen. It's not like you have a big script. It's when you're out, you want to film things to where, how can I make this look better than what it actually is?
Right.
You know, you shoot B-roll stuff, you film finding the cache. Okay, now that you found the cache, I want to film you take the cache out and put it back in. You film that like a half dozen times, so you have some B-roll to throw in there, so it's not a monotonous shot.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, there is creative stuff that goes into making your geocaching videos, but it's not like heavily scripted or anything. It's a lot of it's just impromptu stuff that you just, what the heck do I say here to make this interesting or fun, or interaction with the people.
This sounds funny.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like, what can I do to make? Okay, it's just okay, we found a guardrail cache. Can we crack a joke or something to make it more fun than what's actually going on? Because when you're watching geocaching videos, I've seen some that are great and awesome because people are able to tell stories like what you're saying, Monkey, there, or they lead up to things like Geo Rick. He throws educational stuff in.
Mm-hmm.
Then I've also seen videos where it's like, I'm going to go on out here and find this cache by a tree. Then it's like 5 minutes of them walking out to a tree and looking around the tree, and then, well, here it is, and I'm like, oh, okay. Maybe could have been a little bit more, maybe edit some stuff out. But I don't know. It everybody kind of does their own individual thing when they shoot and edit their stuff together. And I think it's kind of fun, just like, well, the people that I watch, seeing how they do the same thing, their creativity to make it more fun than maybe what that cache could have actually been. Because we've all found caches like that where it's found it done, but can you make it look cool?
Yeah.
1 minute Wednesday, and I found the cache in 10 seconds. So now what do I do? I got 50 seconds to kill.
50 seconds of Karen ad-libbing. That's what you like.
Or slow-mo. You can like film in slow-mo.
Ooh, there you go. Oh, a RAR. We talked about RARs earlier. No, it's a great question, Just Carlo. Thank you very much. Appreciate you prompting us to have that conversation.
Yes, that excellent question. I wish I had come up with it. It was so good. Folks, I've said we've run long. We have. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until next week, get out and get caching.